What does it truly mean to be a strong person? It's not about physical dominance, loud confidence, or showing no emotion. In fact, real strength often goes unnoticed by the world, but it never goes unfelt by those who live it. It's found in the quiet decisions you make every day to keep going when no one's watching, to stay composed when chaos surrounds you, and to rise again after every fall without needing applause. True inner strength isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being unshaken by life's storms, because you've learned how to bend without collapsing. It's the strength to remain kind in a cruel world, calm in the face of disrespect, and loyal to your values, even when it costs you comfort. In this video, we're uncovering 7 subtle yet powerful signs that show you are much stronger than most people realize, perhaps even stronger than you realize. These traits aren't always obvious, but once you see them in yourself, you'll understand why you've been able to endure what others couldn't. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see that your quiet strength might just be your greatest weapon. Let's get into it. Number 1. You take responsibility for your actions. One of the most powerful indicators of inner strength is the ability to take full responsibility for your actions. It's not about pretending to be flawless or never making mistakes. Rather, it's about having the emotional maturity to say, "That was on me," and then doing what needs to be done to make it right. This act, simple as it may seem, is incredibly rare, and it separates the strong from the merely reactive. While many people look for someone or something to blame when things go wrong, strong individuals take a different path. They don't waste time pointing fingers or crafting excuses. They don't let outside forces dictate who they are or where they're going. Instead, they take ownership because they understand that growth begins the moment you accept your role in what happens to you. Taking responsibility gives you agency. It shifts the narrative from, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What can I do differently?" That shift is everything. It means you're not just reacting to life. You're shaping it. Every mistake becomes a stepping stone. Every failure becomes a lesson. You no longer feel like a victim of your circumstances. You become the architect of your next move. People naturally trust those who are willing to own their faults and correct them. It shows character. It shows depth. And it demonstrates a level of self-awareness that is essential for true leadership. Whether it's in your personal life, your career, or your relationships, accountability is what builds credibility. When you hold yourself to a higher standard, others take notice. Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius believed that the only thing truly within our control is ourselves, our thoughts, our reactions, our decisions. That's why accepting responsibility is not just a noble act. It's a form of strength that empowers you to live with purpose and clarity. So the next time you feel the urge to shift blame or look away from the truth, pause and choose the path of strength. Embrace your imperfections, learn from them, and act with integrity. Because real strength isn't about never falling. It's about owning the fall, standing up, and walking forward with your head held high. Number 6. You lift others up. Genuine strength doesn't shine brightest when you're in the spotlight. It emerges when you help others rise, even when no one's watching. In a society obsessed with personal wins and self-promotion, the quiet power of lifting someone else up is often overlooked. But make no mistake, the ability to support others without envy, to offer encouragement without expecting praise, is one of the clearest signs of deep inner strength. There's something profoundly admirable about those who can recognize someone else's struggle and choose to offer help, not because they have to, but because they want to. Whether it's a few kind words sharing hard-earned wisdom, or simply being there during someone's low point, these acts ripple outwards. They foster connection, they build trust, and they remind people that they're not alone. It takes strength to lift others, especially when you're still climbing yourself. Weakness envies, insecurity competes, but strength supports. It says, there's room for both of us at the top. That mindset isn't just rare, it's transformative. When you empower others, instead of competing against them, you don't just help them grow, you become a catalyst for a healthier, more generous world. And no, this doesn't mean abandoning your own needs or constantly putting others ahead of yourself. True support stems from stability. You can't uplift someone else if you're falling apart. Real strength is knowing how to stay rooted while still extending a hand. It's being secure enough in who you are that someone else's success doesn't threaten you, it inspires you. Even great leaders and thinkers throughout history, especially those who followed Stoic philosophy, understood that part of living a meaningful life is contributing to the growth of others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity. Every time you help someone rise, you echo far beyond that single moment. You're shaping a legacy of compassion, resilience, and quiet leadership." So if you've ever encouraged a friend who felt lost, mentored someone unsure of their path, or even offered a moment of honest belief when someone doubted themselves, know this: you're showing remarkable strength. And more importantly, you're giving others permission to believe in themselves too. Keep doing it. Keep showing up with encouragement. Because the strongest people aren't those who rise alone. They're the ones who lift others as they rise. Number 3, taking responsibility. Real strength isn't just about enduring hardship or staying tough when life gets difficult. One of the clearest signs of true character is your willingness to take full responsibility for your actions, especially when things don't go as planned. It's easy to shine when everything's going well, but when you've missed the mark, dropped the ball, or made a wrong decision, that's when your true nature is revealed. Think of a time when you made a promise you couldn't keep. Maybe you let someone down or failed to follow through. In that moment, you had a choice to deflect, to explain it away, or to step forward and own it. Most people take the easy route. They point to circumstances, blame others, or wrap their failure in justifications. But those who are truly strong choose differently. They choose honesty. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you have the strength to face your imperfections without shame. It's the ability to say, "This was my doing, and I'm going to fix it." That mindset is not only courageous, but transformative. Every time you take ownership of a mistake, you gain clarity, wisdom, and the chance to become better. And that's far more valuable than pretending to have it all together. There's a quiet power in accountability. It earns you trust, it deepens your integrity, and it separates you from those who live in denial of their own influence over their lives. The Stoic philosophers knew this well. To them, responsibility was not a burden, but a form of liberation. When you accept your role in the outcomes you experience, you stop being powerless. You start shaping your reality with conscious intent. Of course, owning your actions is rarely comfortable. It can feel vulnerable, even humbling. But in a world where image often takes precedence over truth, those who have the courage to be transparent stand out. They are respected, not because they always succeed, but because they never run from failure. Their honesty is their strength, and it inspires the same in others. I remember a story of a business leader whose decision caused a costly delay in an important project. Instead of blaming his team or external factors, he admitted his mistake in front of everyone. He outlined what went wrong, what he had learned, and how he would handle things differently next time. His team didn't lose faith in him. Instead, they rallied around him more loyal than ever. His vulnerability became a form of leadership. When you begin to view responsibility as a privilege rather than a punishment, everything shifts. Mistakes stop being something to hide from. They become stepping stones. Each time you take accountability, you lay a stronger foundation for the person you're becoming. So practice this in daily life. When you miss a goal, own it. When you hurt someone, acknowledge it. When you succeed, recognize the effort you gave. Responsibility isn't just about facing consequences. It's about embracing the full impact of your choices, good and bad. The world is full of people who dodge blame and avoid discomfort. But the ones who truly grow are those who confront reality with open eyes and an open heart. That's the kind of strength that lasts. And when you lead with responsibility, you're not just becoming stronger. You're becoming someone others can believe in, follow, and respect. Number 4. Facing fear. Fear is one of life's most persistent companions. It lurks in moments of uncertainty, whispering caution when you're about to step into the unknown. It tempts you to stay where it's safe, convincing you that retreat is the wiser path. But true strength isn't found in avoidance. It's found in your willingness to face fear head on and move forward anyway. Everyone feels fear. It's not weakness, it's human. But what separates the strong from the stagnant is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Strong individuals don't pretend fear doesn't exist. They acknowledge it, examine it, and then choose not to be controlled by it. They've learned that fear often appears when something truly important is at stake, when growth, change, or meaning lies just beyond the edge of comfort. Imagine being offered a chance to lead a major project, confront someone who's crossed a boundary, or start over in a new chapter of life. The instinctive response might be hesitation, anxiety, or even dread. Fear rushes in with its long list of what-ifs. But those with real inner strength hear those warnings and move forward anyway, not recklessly, but courageously. In that moment, they aren't just avoiding regret, they're becoming someone stronger than they were the day before. The Stoic philosophers often taught that it's not what we fear, but how we interpret it that shapes our lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle is the way, reminding us that the very thing we avoid might be the exact path to our highest potential. And Seneca was blunt. The imagination does more damage than reality. Our fears often live in worst-case scenarios that never actually happen, robbing us of peace and opportunity. Take a closer look at your daily life. How many decisions are shaped not by your values or your purpose, but by fear? Fear of judgment, failure, loss. It can be subtle, a missed opportunity, here a silenced truth there. But over time, those moments of hesitation become barriers. Strength is built when you stop letting that fear lead the way. When you speak up, take the risk step into discomfort, you begin to shift the balance of power. The good news is, this fear can be trained. Each time you challenge it, it shrinks. Each time you take that uncertain step, you gain more faith in your ability to handle whatever comes next. And eventually fear loses its grip, not because life gets easier, but because you've gotten stronger. You don't need to eliminate fear to grow. You simply need to stop waiting for it to disappear before you take action. Courage is choosing to move forward, even when fear rides alongside you. It's reminding yourself that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term strength. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show a man to himself." Fear is one of life's greatest tests and also its greatest teachers. If you lean into it with the right mindset, it won't just reveal your limits, it will expand them. Because just beyond fear is your next level, and the only way to reach it is to step through. Number 5. Staying positive in adversity. There's a rare kind of strength in someone who remains hopeful, not naive or in denial, but deeply grounded in reality, while still choosing to see light in the darkest moments. I've seen this strength firsthand in a person who, despite enduring loss, setbacks, and periods of deep uncertainty, never lets the bitterness of life harden her spirit. She doesn't sugarcoat her experiences or pretend everything is fine. Instead, she meets difficulty with quiet courage and an open heart, trusting that every struggle holds something worth learning. That calm resolve, not loud, not flashy, is the kind of strength that radiates and uplifts everyone around her. Remaining positive in the face of adversity doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending to be unaffected. It means being willing to confront hardship with clarity and then choosing to respond in a way that builds rather than breaks. This kind of positivity isn't shallow optimism. It's rooted in resilience, self-awareness, and a commitment to growth. It's about asking not, "Why is this happening to me?" but "What can I take from this? And how can I grow because of it?" Strong individuals understand that while they can't control what life throws at them, they can control how they interpret it. When challenges arise, and they always do, they pause, reassess, and look for meaning instead of surrendering to despair. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, adversity isn't something to avoid, it's something to use. Life by its very nature is unpredictable. We all experience failure, disappointment, and loss. But it's the mindset you bring to those moments that determines your trajectory. Will you allow the struggle to drag you down, or will you let it carve depth into your character? The strongest people choose the latter. They embrace their scars, not as signs of defeat, but as evidence that they've survived and grown. Gratitude is a powerful tool in this process. Even when everything feels like it's falling apart, choosing to notice what remains, what still brings peace or joy, creates emotional space for healing. Gratitude isn't about ignoring problems. It's about anchoring yourself to what's still true, still good, and still yours. It brings balance to moments when the world feels overwhelmingly negative. And resilience. That's the quiet force that keeps you getting back up. It doesn't develop overnight. It's built each time you face something hard and choose not to let it break you. As Seneca wisely noted, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Each trial you endure refines your inner fortitude like fire refining metal. What once would have shattered you becomes something you can now carry with grace. Another essential element is presence. Too often people become trapped in the pain of the past or the anxiety of what's to come. But the only moment you can live in, really live in, is now. The Stoics often spoke of aligning ourselves with nature and accepting what is, rather than endlessly wishing for something different. Epictetus encouraged us to welcome what happens, not resist it, and by doing so to find peace. This mindset isn't natural for most. It requires conscious effort, learning to reframe negative thoughts, replacing blame with curiosity, and building relationships that reinforce strength rather than sabotage it. It also means giving yourself permission to feel anger, grief, frustration without letting those emotions dictate your direction. Strength is not emotional suppression, it's emotional discipline. In the end, staying positive through adversity is one of the boldest acts of strength you can choose. It's not about denying your reality, it's about claiming your power within it. It's the decision to keep moving forward, not because it's easy, but because you believe there's something better ahead. And the best part, every time you make that choice, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more prepared for whatever comes next. So when life challenges you, and it will remember, the storm will pass. But the resilience you build by walking through it, that stays with you forever. Number 6. Lifting others. Upstrength is often portrayed as a solitary pursuit, an individual climbing to the top through grit and determination. But real strength, the kind that truly endures, isn't just about personal triumph. It's about how you use your own growth to elevate the people around you. Those who are genuinely strong don't need to dominate to feel powerful. Instead, they empower others, recognizing that true success is multiplied when it's shared. There's something profoundly powerful about giving someone else belief when they've lost it in themselves. Think back to a time when a few words from someone changed everything for you, when someone saw your potential before you did. That moment may have altered the course of your life. And what did it cost them? Probably very little. But what it gave you was immense. That is the essence of lifting others. It doesn't always require massive effort, but its impact is immeasurable. The strongest people don't hoard knowledge, praise, or opportunity. They share it. They understand that real leadership means creating space for others to grow, not shrinking the room to keep themselves in the spotlight. Uplifting others isn't about charity. It's about strength rooted in abundance. When you lift someone up, you're not losing anything. You're contributing to a world where support replaces competition and unity replaces ego. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius, a philosopher and emperor, reminded us that what is good for the hive is good for the bee. In other words, your own well-being is tied to the well-being of others. When you support those around you, emotionally, mentally, or practically, you don't just make their path easier. You reinforce your own foundation. You create an environment where strength is nurtured, not drained. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. Lifting others can be as small as recognizing someone's effort, encouraging them to keep going, or simply being present when they feel unseen. A short message, a sincere compliment, a moment of patience. These things matter more than we realize. In a world that often feels heavy, your strength can be the very thing that helps someone else find their own. Importantly, supporting others doesn't mean depleting yourself. It's not about self-erasure. It's about being strong enough to see that another person's rise doesn't threaten yours, it complements it. Strong people aren't afraid of others doing well. They welcome it. They know that real confidence is shown in how we treat people when we have the power to impact them. When you choose to uplift others, you become a force that transcends your individual achievements. The energy you give out, to encourage, to validate, to affirm, ripples outward in ways you may never fully see. You may be the reason someone decides not to give up, the reason they take that chance, the reason they start to believe again. And eventually, they'll do the same for someone else. That's how strong communities are built. That's how real legacies are formed. Not by standing alone at the top, but by helping others climb alongside you. Your strength isn't just something to keep, it's something to give. And the more you give it, the more powerful it becomes. Number 7. You draw clear lines and stick to them. What defines inner strength in a world that constantly pushes your limits? It's not brute force or tireless effort. It's the quiet discipline to know where you stand, draw your lines clearly, and refuse to compromise your well-being for the sake of approval. While many equate strength with endurance, true strength often lies in restraint. It's the ability to say enough when your energy, time, or peace is at stake. We live in a culture that often glorifies overextension, where saying yes is seen as noble, and self-sacrifice is mistakenly called strength. But the people who live with clarity and purpose know better. They understand that setting boundaries isn't about shutting others out. It's about protecting what matters most within. It's an intentional choice to honor your values, protect your emotional space, and live life on your own terms. People who lack boundaries tend to burn out, not just physically, but emotionally. They stretch themselves thin, constantly overcommitted, and quietly resentful. Their time is hijacked by guilt, and their presence becomes diluted by the expectations of others. But those with inner strength choose a different path. They assess what truly deserves their attention and give from a place of fullness, not depletion. This kind of strength doesn't always look impressive from the outside. It's not loud or confrontational. Sometimes it's as simple as not responding to something that drains your spirit. Sometimes it's walking away from a conversation, a demand, or a relationship that disregards your worth. It's in these small, deliberate moments that self-respect is forged. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from self-mastery, not from doing whatever you want, but from choosing your path deliberately. When you set boundaries, you are no longer at the mercy of people's expectations. You create space for calm, for clarity, and for depth. You begin living from intention, not obligation. And while it may feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to always giving in, this discomfort is temporary. What lasts is the strength you gain each time you stand firm. You stop living in fear of disappointing others and start building a life that honors your inner truth. Strong boundaries also improve relationships. They draw the right people closer, those who understand and respect your standards. The ones who resist your limits, they were never truly in it for the right reasons. The clarity that boundaries bring reveals who is aligned with your growth and who simply benefited from your compliance. Boundaries are not selfish. They are an expression of self-awareness. They allow you to show up fully for the things that truly matter without being drained by everything else. As Seneca reminded us, we must be intentional about who and what we allow into our lives. When you're selective with your energy, you begin to notice something powerful. Your life becomes lighter, more focused, and more aligned with your values. So don't feel guilty for protecting your peace. Each time you enforce a boundary, you're not closing yourself off. You're building a stronger, wiser version of yourself. You're affirming that your needs matter, that your time is sacred, that your life is yours to shape, not something to be constantly negotiated away. In the end, strength isn't about how much you can carry. It's about how much you're willing to put down so that you can carry only what truly matters. And in a world that demands everything, the strongest are those who choose to give only what's meaningful. We've just uncovered 7 often overlooked signs of true inner strength qualities that reflect resilience, clarity, and emotional depth. Real strength isn't about avoiding difficulty, but how you respond when it comes. Whether you've long recognized these traits in yourself or are seeing them for the first time, acknowledging them is the foundation of real growth. The journey of becoming stronger isn't about chasing perfection, It's about embracing steady progress. Stoic wisdom teaches us that strength is forged through challenges, honest reflection, and staying committed to what matters. Each time you face fear, stand by your principles, or rise after falling, you prove your growth. So where are you now on this path? What experiences have shaped your character? If any of this resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Sometimes one insight can change someone's outlook. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson on inner strength and Stoic wisdom. The journey continues, and you're not alone on the path.